Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are here for a match of the Heineken Champions Cup. Now, something is about to happen that we have never seen before, and that is a South African side taking part in a Champions Cup. The Sharks up against a very tough first matchup in the Harlequins. Now, it is going to be played in South Africa. That is one benefit for the Cell C Sharks. They also have quite a few of their Springboks back in that lineup, as we are going to be showing very soon. But I hope you guys are all doing well. I hope you're excited for this matchup when it does take place. Just only about 8 or 9 minutes away. Looking through maybe at the starting lineup for the South Africans, it seems like it's not actually going to load. So maybe we will just be going through them from the list. Number 1, Oxnard. Number 2, Bongiel Manambi, the Springbok hooker. And then Carlos Sadie. And number 3, then Big Eben Itzebeth back in a Sharks kit. He's certainly going to be one to watch out for out there at Kings Park Stadium. Gurbrand Grobela will be there at number 5 to join him. So 2 very solid units of individuals sitting there at 4 and 5 for the Cell C Sharks. Then this loose forward trio, very skilled. Sia Khaleesi at number 6, the captain Vincent Tachuka at 7, and then Pepsi Buthelezi, an up-and-coming talent, a future Springbok at number 8. Then looking through at the back line, it will be Jaden Hendrickson at 9, Kerwin Bosch at number 10, Makazole Mapimpi finding himself out on that left wing, will be able to really push the young Caden Murley. Then in the midfielder will be Ben Tipawai and Francois Fenter, 14, Werner Koch, and then number 15 to close out their side, it is Biota Chamberlain, who will play at fullback. We have got their Hamish matches for Black Cats before Pakistan series, none at all. They are jumping straight in up against Pakistan on the 27th of December. I see from Connor Cahill as well, Emirates Lions versus Newport Dragons, 31 all. Very close game. I was watching the score throughout it. We can't actually watch the Challenge Cup here in New Zealand, but it just seemed to be that every time one side took the momentum, the other side were able to fire back. And in the end, 31-31, decent game for both of those sides. Come on, you Quins. Sebastian and Gareth is going for the Sharks in this matchup. Speaking of the Harlequins, this is their starting lineup. Joe Marler at number 1, Jack Walker at 2, and Wilco Lowe slotting in as the 3. Dino Lamb and Ernie Hertz will be there at 4 and 5, should say. Jack Kenningham, William Evans, and Alex Dombrand. I'm excited to see what he can do going head-to-head with Pepsi Buthelezi. Both have been kind of called in the past the next big thing for their sides at number 8, whether it is for international or just during these domestic competitions. Danny Kerr at 9, lot of experience there for the Quins. No Marcus Smith at fly half. Instead, Tommaso Allen will be there for the Harlequins. Josh Bassett out on the left wing. Andre Esterhuizen on his home soil of South Africa at 12. 13, Joe Martin. That is an absolutely brilliant midfield combination. And I think we're going to see it in well and truly full effect today. Can't say words. Too excited for this match. I've said it already. This is going to be the game of the Saturday. And we've already seen a 31-31 draw in the Challenge Cup. This is the game of the Champions Cup. I think everyone will be looking forward to. Caden Murley at number 14. Nick David at fullback. And this game is only 6 minutes away, ladies and gentlemen. I wouldn't put it past him. Yeah, maybe Joe Marler, if he scores a try, might jump into one of those kiddie pools and stay there where he belongs, says Connor. I mean, if it's available on the sideline, it's a cooling down method that Joe Marler may consider as an option. I don't know whether they'd allow it by World Rugby. They'd probably fine him or something along those lines. But, if he wants to cool off and there's a pool available, might as well make the absolute most of it. It's currently about 28 degrees in a majority of South Africa, so it's going to be hot. The weird thing is, they probably wouldn't make the top 10 strangest things he's ever done, says Sebastian. Yeah, the man's got quite a list, doesn't he? I remember seeing an interview with Joe Marler. He was in a field, or he was next to the rugby field. He was talking about a horse. I can't remember the rest of it, but I'll probably rewatch it after we finish this live stream, to be fair. But he was talking about a horse, something about taking a water somewhere or taking the horse somewhere. But horses can't talk. I can't quite get it on me brain. And come on, Mapimpi, says Aiden in there as well. So a very strong player, Makazole Mapimpi. It's great to see the Springbok players back in the Sharks lineup. In fact, they've got Nishe, Mbanambi, Etzebeth, Khaleesi, Hendrickson, Mapimpi. You've got at least 6 Springboks in this starting lineup. And looking at their bench, looking very strong as well. Will be Daniel Juster at number 16, Machunu as 17, 18, Hiram Andrews. It also Notche at number 20, Grant Williams, Cronje, and Jansie van Rensburg as the last man off the Sharks bench. Then looking through at the Quins, going to be George Head, Finn Baxter. He's a man who looks about 12, but he's a very solid individual and can scrummage like the best of them. Simon Kirod, Hammond, Tom Lauday. Also, that's a hard name, Lewis Gjaltima, somewhere like that, or something along those lines. Oscar Beard and Will Edwards, the last man off the bench. The strangest thing he did was perhaps the worst looking mohawk I've ever seen. Looks like a darts player. Oh, darts player. They're actually, that's the weirdest time because they're currently showing an ad for darts here in New Zealand. The player you're thinking of, who's the guy with the snake on the side of his head? And they're literally showing him right there. What's his name? Because he is literally the mohawk you're talking about. The fellow with the snake on the side of the head. Someone's going to be able to help me out with that one. But currently only a couple minutes away from this matchup and putting my money. I won on the box. On my pimp beat across the line, says Aiden. Can't give that gambling up, mate. We've told you multiple times. We can only tell you so many more until you get yourself in a real tricky scenario. But yeah, the pools are next to the ground. It would be a very nice afternoon to be able to get themselves a good performance. Anyone know a cheap subscription I can buy for rugby in South Africa? Unfortunately, it's normally only Super Sport, unfortunately, in South Africa. It's a shame. Unless, have you got a VPN? Gerhard, do let me know. His name is Peter Wright, and the Scotsman says Sebastian. That's the one. He was just on the screen just a little bit ago. But now, looking through these starting lineups again straight away, when you look at that four-pack, Itzebeth catches your eye, Sia Khaleesi, Umbanambi, all of these Springboks returning for the Sharks, ready to go in the big matchup. But you wonder, will there be a chemistry problem with the fact they haven't been with the sides for the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks of the URC? Marla's got some headgear on in his picture. I feel like that's just Joe Marler doing Joe Marler things. And I can't stay because I'm in the pub watching Leinster, the winners. Of course, Leinster playing at the same time. They will be taking on none other than Racing 92 in their matchup. And also heard leader a Scotsman ref and an English and a Safa team, says Gareth there. But the Harlequins backline, I think Danny Kerr is going to be important. Also, Esterhazen and March, and that midfield combo is a very good one. And I can't wait to see those two in action. I should mention, I will not be alone for this live stream. With the way that schedules have worked out, there is going to be a matchup between Samoa and Ireland taking place in the sevens. That is going to be at about 2:30 a.m. So what's going to happen is, I believe it's my mum, maybe my dad too, are going to be joining the commentary team. Don't know how much money I'm going to have to pay them for them to get up at this hour of the morning to do a 30-minute commentary window and then go back to bed. But that's what's going to be happening. So be sure to stick around for that. I tried to give them a bit of information on the players for this game, and they were like, no chance. We'll just talk about it as it happens and hope for the very best. But the Quins, there seems to be a few in attendance for this matchup. I'd say a majority of the Quins fans in South Africa usually are probably Andre Esterhazen fans for good reason. Wilco Low as well. Now the two sides about to make their way out onto the park. It's looking like a great afternoon. Game's being played in Durban. We're quickly going to check the temperature. What is the temperature in Durban? 27 degrees. Yeah, no, that's not a fun temperature to be playing rugby in. But the Quins now making their way out onto the field. They've created a bit of a player tunnel for them to go through. A big, exciting game for these two sides. And Tyrone Green now missing Safa. That's true. Do you know what's happened with Marcus Smith, Sebastian? Do let me know. Has he got some sort of injury, or are they just not playing him for this leg? I guess with the fact that the international window has just closed after that game up against South Africa, maybe they decided to leave him in England rather than bringing him right to South Africa for him to then have to go back afterwards. I believe the next game for the Harlequins, they've actually got Racing 92 and resting after the internationals. I thought that might be the case. Whereas Andre Esterhazen back in that Harlequins kit. Sia Khaleesi, he's got a couple children beside him, just about to lead out the Sharks at home. This is going to be a brilliant feeling for the man. Who else haven't they got at the moment, Sebastian? I know Tyrone Green, also Marcus Smith. There's another fella in that back line, isn't there? Liner. What's Liner up to? Is he just chilling somewhere else? Maybe they decided they didn't want him for this game. Because did he He wasn't an internet. Was he an international? By the way, shout out to Jake White. Disrespected the URC by claiming that the Champions Cup was the next level above the URC, and Dragons went and drew in Joburg. That just shut him up. Says Connor Cahill there. Now, Vincent Tachulka out there on the park, a beast of an individual. Watch out for him for the Sharks throughout this matchup. Both sides. Can I go on a line? I believe we're going to have a moment of applause. Dottie Weir. They are going to have the silence for a moment's applause. In fact, it's going to be rather than a moment's silence. Dottie Weir unfortunately passed away not too long ago. That is why they're having the silence. Joe Marchant. Oh, sorry, not Joe Marchant. Joe Marler's almost got a regular haircut at this stage. He seems to have grown out the sides a little bit more than he usually would. I wonder what antics he's going to get up to in this game, because he's going to be going head-to-head at times, maybe in a breakdown with Eben Etzebeth. And he doesn't take any tomfoolery in a breakdown, Eben. He'll just pretty much try and sit him down. And also, Dottie Weir, quite the legend. Exactly right. They are having the moment's applause for Dottie Weir. I'm slightly clapping quietly, not for any other reason than my parents are still asleep. I don't want to wake them up before they have to do the stream, or else they might be annoyed. Hello, all, says Flesh, and welcome in, mate. Hope you're doing well. And now, both sides out there on the field, ready to go for this matchup. It's going to be Twal Trainini in charge of this one. There you go. That's a name that I haven't actually seen before. Welcome in, Fleshin, says Sebastian. Now, Harlequins, they'll be kicking off this one from right to left. Now, as a Sharks fan, anyone who is tuning in, if you aren't familiar with the Harlequins, if the Sharks are leading by 21 points to nil early on, don't assume you've won the game. This is the type of side, the Quins, who can come back from 30-point deficits in the Premier League. Well, sorry, not the Premier League, and Premiership Rugby. They've done it multiple times. They're never out of a game, so you've got to make sure you put that dagger in early, but it's kicked off long, taken by Grobela. English commentary for this one, Joel Stransky and also Pierce in there. Jaden Hendricks are being told to use it. He'll fire up the box kick now. The South Africans to chase. It looks like Makazole Mapimpi. He's really misjudged there, but Joe Marchant also putting that ball down. Going to be a knock on early, and now the scrum feed for the South African side, the Sharks. I'm so used to sevens. I was fully expecting the 3 men to just go into that scrum, get it out the back, and it was done in like 3 seconds. I got to remember now we're back to Union. We've got a little bit more time spent at scrum time. Wonder if Fazza has recovered, says Gareth. Good question. I always get Fazza confused. That's Owen Farrell, isn't it? Or is there a... No, is that Fazza? I know Faz Dog's Owen Farrell, but I don't know whether that's his actual nickname or just what I sometimes call him. George calls him Faz Dog anyway, alongside a few other names that I cannot say on the live stream. Sharks back weight 913 kgs compared to the 898 of the Harlequins. And Gareth, I'm good, mate. Got to pop out quick, but we'll be back, says Fleshin. So by the time you come back, Fleshin, maybe my parents doing the commentary. Well, this one, that's a solid scrum from both sides. Sia Khaleesi asking for the penalty. He's saying, sir, asking for it. They're not giving it, though. Inside of the 22, Kerwin Bosch gives it the boot downfield. Going to be bouncing nicely for them. Nick David leaves it for his flying winger. Quins inside of their own 22, looking to attack now. It looks like Murley willing to take it on. Smith goes off nicely to Josh Bassett. Name who I couldn't get out during the starting lineups, but now starting to roll off the tongue. Alex Dombrandt runs hard at Tipawai. And Farrell was triple S. Sari Scouser Scum. Sebastian. Triple S. Who's triple C? Triple C's Henry Cejudo, isn't it? The triple champ. Now, David, oh, sorry, not David, Danny Kerr. Maybe Daniel? Would his full name be Daniel? Maybe just goes by Danny for short. Going to be kicked downfield by the Harlequins. Waiting for this one to come down. Awkward swirling ball. I can't say words. I'm too excited for this game. Kerwin Bosch goes off to Hendrickson now. Umbonambi. Another Springbok out there for the South Sea Sharks. Back into the pocket. And Chamberlain kicks back downfield. Game of territory at the moment early between these two sides. Now David with the fend off the tackle of Werner Koch. Etzebeth gets a shot in there alongside Robela. Back into the pocket. And kicked downfield now by Tommaso Allen. Geez, that turf's roughed up big time where they had that last scrum. Now, Viota Chamberlain goes in behind, taken nicely by the Quins. Nick David once again looked like he was considering the kick, but instead decides to have a bit of a run. Vincent Tachuka with the counter ruck, unable to get it. Danny Kerr does the little grubber in behind, waits for Marchand. Does he just keep it in the field of play? He sure does. And that ball's bouncing quite nicely. Just running into touch by Viota Chamberlain. And now it's the line out for the Harlequins. A good start to the match for the away side. Little bit of territory being played. And now they've got themselves the line out inside of the 22. They've taken it quickly. Looks like the Sharks have actually been able to steal that one. Being turned over, and now the Sharks, couple meters out from their line. Maybe just rushing it a little bit there. The Harlequins. That's a penalty to them, though. And that will be a not releasing penalty in favour of the Quins. The option for 3 is there if they want it. But the question is, how aggressive in this Champions Cup are we going to see the Harlequins go? They're a side throughout the Premiership. They'll kick this for the corner 9 times out of 10. They've done it again here in South Africa. But they took that throw quickly. Danny Kerr then straight over the ball. I believe it was actually Vincent Tachuka it was. Got that turnover pretty much instantly. But now the 5-metre line out for the Quins. Important throw for Jack Walker. On with a loaded line out here. I believe six men. Yes. It's going to be so more than likely a rolling maul just around the corner. They go to the front. Met a little bit too early. So the advantage goes the way of the Harlequins. Just keeping this one in the field of play, even though the Sharks are driving it sideways. Danny Kerr look for the ball. It's gone down, going back to the penalty to the Harlequins. Just a little bit too early, pre-engaging at scrum time, at line-out time. Now, going to be another option. Danny Kerr's saying maybe his wrist was slapped down on that far side. I believe they already had the advantage, though. They take his line out. Comment from the French referee, whose name I've actually never heard before. Maybe they're getting a few different refs in for the Champions Cup, although it makes sense. I guess maybe if he does his refereeing in the top 14, they're going to be balancing the refs out so that it's the players or the two teams, a referee from the other competition, if that makes sense. The Sharks says Nosisa, what is your prediction for the score? Nosisa, do let me know. Another rolling maul for the Harlequins. This one looking a little bit better, getting only a couple meters out from the line. It's dragged down. So they've been able to get this one out the back for William Evans. Another advantage for the Harlequins here. Danny Kerr about to pass it out. Gives it to Andre Estes, and now wide cut-out pass. Great position for the Quins. Smith fires it one more. Josh Bassett, he steps on the inside, scores the try, and the Harlequins first to strike in Durban. He'll be pretty happy with that one. Just a nice wide cut-out pass from the Harlequins. 9th European Cup try and 22 appearances for Josh Bassett there. Out on the wing. And also 12, Tranini has officiated Champions Cup and URC contests in the past, says Sebastian. Interesting. I feel like he's a name that maybe we've never done a live stream that he has been doing the refereeing, because I feel like I don't recognise the face either. But try for the Quins, says Sebastian. And as a Quins supporter, you'll be pretty happy with that one, I would think, for the early try from the Harlequins there. Going to be a relatively tough kick for Tommaso Allen. No man, Sharkies, says Morne Vasaki there. And here we go, Sharks can't play at home, says Gareth. Although we've seen the Sharks, they've also been a side who have made late comebacks in matches. Maybe not quite to the extent of the Harlequins. Anyone who hasn't seen some of those games in the Premiership where the Harlequins are down with 20 minutes to go, it's actually, in a way, it's a thing of beauty, and it's a thing that makes a lot of people a lot of money when they bet on them, because you see their odds, they go up to about $20 and then they just manage to close out with the victory. That's going to be another conversion. 7 points to nil now for the Harlequins and 35-5 for Nosisa. So I will change that to 35-7 with that conversion going over for the Harlequins. But the Sharks, we haven't really seen them on attack yet. So yes, this is very strong from the Harlequins to start this match with a few reverse or repeat penalties. But once the Sharks get that ball in hand and they start getting it out wide, maybe the Harlequins' defense will be a little bit more tested. Normally pretty strong, though. Defending champs of the Gallagher Premiership in 2021. Sort of not too badly on the table. That's going to be knocked back onto the side of the Sharks. Tupperwhite kicks it in behind. Only 5 meters out for the line, and Harlequins no choice for Andre Esterhuizen. In fact, it's not even Andre. Instead, it's going to be, who was that? Is that a forward? I think that was Jack Kinningham who decided to kick that one into touch. And now a 5-metre line out for the Sharks. A young 21 says Sharks will win. Good challenge in the air between Makazole Mapimpi and Cadden Murley. Sharks, though, 5 metres out, line out opportunity. First attack of the day for the Sharks lineup. Goes straight to Eben Etzebeth, the Springboks, linking up nicely. And the rolling maul commences. This is decent defence so far from the Quins. Driving it sideways. Umbonambi considers going for it off the back, and he does. Now gives it to Henriksen. First receiver, Kerwin Bosch. One more on the outside. Brought to Chamberlain, lined up. Good pick up from Werner Koch. I heard a whistle. Did I hear a whistle? Yes, we did. It was the forward pass. I was going to say they're just continuing to go. And love our centre combo, Esterhuizen and Marchand, both strong, grafting blokes. Yeah. When I saw the lineups, that's the combination that I was like, see what it can do. But also, if I had that same thing for the Sharks, it was probably the locking duo, Etzebeth and also Hrobala. When I saw those two, I was like, okay, line-out time should be a little bit of an advantage for the Sharks. Rolling mauls as well, although we've already seen some nice rolling mauls from the Harlequins. But yeah, Marchand, Esterhuizen. And then when you add Tyrone Green into that back line, alongside Marcus Smith and also Lewis Liner, pretty good. Herbst, at the moment, looks like he has a little bit of an eye problem. Might have gone in a poke at some stage. The referee just describing the scrum a little bit to Sia Khaleesi. He was asking for a penalty earlier on in one. And Is says Anosisa there. There he is. He stands just a little bit taller than the rest. And then you see Herbran Hrobala next to him. And you go, okay, never mind. Maybe he's a little bit shorter than Hrobala there. But both stand about 2 meters tall. Backline movement, though, from the Harlequins. It was impressive to get themselves that first try. But it was the repeat infringements from the Shark that allowed that opportunity to arise. They cannot afford to have that multiple times throughout this matchup. Currently going to be a scrum, though, for the Harlequins. 20 metres out from their own line, already almost 10 minutes through. And we see there Neil Powell, man who's very familiar with the 7 circuit, just a little bit away in Cape Town. Springboks 7 side, they've got their next match up against the French. That'll be taking place at 4 a.m. We're actually covering that game straight after this one on the channel. So anyone who is new, sure to leave a like and subscribe. It's a free kick to the Sharks. A little bit too much of an early push from Wilco Lowe. And now the Sharks will have themselves the scrum feed. So that is a massive one, because all of a sudden you go from a position where you're able to kick it downfield to now the Sharks on hot attack. And Sharks, there's Jan Adrian Hrobala there. They are zooming heavily in on someone's knees. I think that was Jack Walker. Looks like his knees are pretty warm, which I know in some contexts could be used in a different context, I guess is the best way of describing it. I don't want to dig myself a hole, but he does go on his knees a bit in that scrum. He's touching them now. Gone down in the middle, but the big scrum push from the Sharks. They've got the penalty advantage now off the back. Pepsi Buthelezi goes to Henriksen. One more ball could have gone to Werner Koch. That will be 4, but they go back for the initial penalty. Okay, 2 scrum penalties, angling, and then also offside off the back of the scrum against the Harlequins. Looks like Kerwin Bosch will also use that Harlequins mindset of kick that ball into touch. Only a few minutes out. Come on, Sharks. See a sucker baller there. Yeah, a couple of big games of the Champions Cup coming up later on tonight. We do know that Clermont will be taking on the Stormers. That game will be taking place in France in 2 hours' time. Alongside that, it is going to be another matchup taking place, which is Bulls versus Lyon. But I see that my co-commentator for this live stream has made her way to the seat. She'll be annoyed that it's this early on. I see her yawning almost. But now the Sharks roll and the Sharks score. Bongion Manambi off the rolling maul, able to score it there. And the Sharks now make it 5 points to 7. The first real chance that they've had throughout this matchup on attack. Bongion Manambi, his first European Cup try. We're going to see a lot of firsts for the South Africans throughout this matchup, due to this being their first ever Champions Cup. The Sharks maul keeping it nice and low, like they're saying, and then just able to get over with that rolling of the Chuka and also the big tight head prop. But Umbanambi waited. Danny Kira unable to stop him, and the game just gets a little bit closer now with the celebration from Bongi Umbanambi. Gerwin Bosch, get ready. And what is your exact time in the game, says Blake? So the exact time we are sitting at currently is 12 minutes, 22 seconds. So I believe because I'm watching on Sky Go, I'm about 30 seconds behind live TV, and that's live for Sky, which I believe is still another 3 to 5 seconds delayed more than Super Sport. So yeah, there's a few delays for myself. So we're sitting at 12:43. And I was like, lol. And there for the hours one. Yeah, we aren't quite that fancy yet. We haven't worked out how to do that, but that's going to be going over 7 points to all. 7 points to 7. Better way of describing it there. Lekker Sharks, says Jan Adrian Grobler. Yeah, Bongi Manambi patiently waiting at the back. They just waited long enough. Dino Lamb tried to go around the side to stop it. How's Bath going? Who are Bath playing? Are they in the Challenge Cup? I don't actually know what the score is in their game, but I do know that Racing 92 were playing Leinster at the same time as this matchup was taking place. Good kick downfield from the Sharks, making about, I'd say, 30, 40 meters outside of Harlequins line now. Good kick from Jaden Hendricks. The Sharks win match, says Roman. You heard it here first. Roman's saying they're going to take it out. At the moment, they're looking pretty handy with those Springboks returning. Hendricksa, Umbanambi, Kolisi, Itzabeth, Mapimpi, Oxnashe. There's a lot of them. And Glasgow leading bar 5-0. There's Sebastian. That's going to be stolen by the Harlequins. And not only stolen, well, sorry, they actually retained, I should say. I was going to say not only stolen, but they've created a rolling maul. It's normally what you do when you retain your own line out. Kicked it behind from Danny Kerr. Wow. That ball's travelled a long way. It's gone straight into touch on the full. And now the Sharks will have the opportunity from way back down the field. Of course, with a little bit of extra, I want to say heat. And also, is Durban altitude? Not too sure whether or not they're high up for Durban. But if they are, ball hangs in the air just a little bit longer. The air's thinner. That'll also mean later on in the game, we start to see some very fatigued players out there on the park. Mongam Manambi about to throw this one in. He played pretty well throughout the autumn internationals. Also did a pretty good job doing the refereeing in a few of those matches as well. That's going to be the penalty. Now Bongi's got his hand up. He's saying that's a penalty to us, referee. Thank you very much. 15 minutes in. Penalty against Dino Lamb. And Hamish, we have Beaches, says Gareth in there. You have Beaches for the Sharks? Or for in general? Is it altitude? Oh, wait, no, sorry, my brain. Oh, that was bad, wasn't it? I just realized the reason you're saying beaches is because beaches normally connect to sea level. Hence why it's low to the ground. Sorry, Gareth, my brain. It's in go slow mode. Looks like they're going to be going for the 3 points here for the Sharks. We'll just forget that moment ever happened. Put it behind us. Bath losing to Glasgow, says Aiden. I hope no Quins players get sick like us and Ospreys people, says Gregor Galway. But Kerwin Bosch, success so far. 1 from 1 tonight. This afternoon, I should say, actually. This game being in South Africa. Taking his time, making sure he gets this kick over for Kerwin Bosch. I should mention what will be happening in 10 minutes' time, ladies and gentlemen, is I will be throwing it over to my co-commentator. It is my mum. Hopefully you guys do stick around, watch her do the Harlequins versus Sharks, teach her a thing or two about Champions Cup rugby. She's relatively new to it, but she's got up at 2:20 a.m. to help me out. So be sure to give us some love. That kid took his shirt off. I think it's a bit early for that, bud. They're only 3 points up. And also IQs are oscillating in these late hours, says Sebastian. Yeah, we've done a lot of streaming over the last week. Test match-wise, we have been doing throughout the day. And then the night time is for the rugby sevens and the rugby union. Nicely taken by Robert. I think it was taken in the air there from Merley. Hard to see on TV, but it's really humid right now. It's going to be sticky and slippery, says Gareth there. Yeah, I saw it was 27 degrees Celsius at the ground. So more than likely they'll need a drinks break after around 20 minutes or so. Kicked high from Hendrickse. Been playing very nicely. Charging onto that one, not quite taken. Slap back onto the side of Joe Marler for the Harlequins. Manumbi stuck under that breakdown, couldn't really go anywhere. Now, big charge forward from William Evans, playing at number 7 for this game with Dom Brand at 8. Break here, 7-0 Leinster, says Richard. Now, Danny Gear, short ball to Joe Marchant, trying to break through. Eben Etzebeth's got him, though. Those two, they have unfinished business from South Africa versus England. That's going to count as a tackle. Bit of a counter-ruck there from the South Africans. They managed to get it for a player leaving his feet. I think that was Herbst who went down, and that will be the penalty now for the Sharks. A warm and humid coming from the Northern Hemisphere. These are tough conditions, says Sebastian there as well. And I was like, yes, come on, Sharks. There's Jan there. Currently 18 minutes into the matchup. 10 points to 7 for the Sharks. And looking at a few more points on the board now, perhaps, with this kick towards the corner. Good opportunity for the home side. With the breakdown, it just went to pretty much anyone who wanted to just dive in there, hope for the best. One of the Harlequins players, though, he got it wrong. He actually did literally take that into consideration. Dove in like he was in that pool near the side of the field. Nice take from Robala. Now going back, Sia Khaleesi goes to Hendricks, a big Eben Etzebeth. Taken down at the kneecaps by Jack Walker. Tipawai goes one more. Kerwin Bosch, ball on the outside. Chamberlain to Makazole Mapimpi. Tries to crawl towards the line. 5 meters out now for the Sharks. Vincent Tachuka, playing number 7 for this game. Not quite through. Hendricks off the Oxneshire rush defense there from Will Evans. Does get him with the penalty advantage. Tipawai tries to go through. Sharks inside centre. Now Hendricks goes back to the side. Makazole Mapimpi. He's going through Mapimpi. He reaches and he scores the try. And the Sharks are in for their second of the match. And it's another Bok. Makazole Mapimpi able to score the second try of the match for the South Sea Sharks. His first European Cup try, like I mentioned, we're going to see that ticked off a lot of the times here for the South African players. But a great one. Makazole Mapimpi cut up the inside and just made his way through. It's an absolute crap time to play in Durban. Hot all day, humid. As how I just heard some thunder, so maybe some rain coming soon. Geez, it's a bit of a, I guess, all seasons game of rugby we might be seeing here between the two sides. Right, they were going to check that one briefly, but they said it's all right. Mapimpi, says Jan there. Yeah, very nice try from Makazole Mapimpi. Currently 20 minutes through this matchup. The conversion is successful from Kerwin Bosch. I think I messed up about 7 of the words in that sentence, which is not ideal. But currently sitting at 2:24 a.m. here in New Zealand. Just to let everyone know, the plan for this live stream is going to be to throw it over to my co-commentator in a very short moment. She's all by herself. My dad actually did say that if he woke up when mum got up, he would have done a live stream with her. But she's shaking her head. She didn't know. Now nicely, no, not nicely taken. Actually going to be a bit of a handling error there from the Harlequins, from the Sharks. Now Marler goes back across Evans. Ball on the inside. Andre Esterhuizen tries to break through some fellow South Africans. They're going back for the penalty. It's about to rain, says Young. Nosisa has got the cards there. And also just got back in. I give a lot to be warm and humid at the moment. And I'm so used to the cookie crumbling in the first half. You know you're a Quins fan. You don't feel comfortable leading at halftime. And that's the thing. 10 points down. The Quins, they've been there, done that throughout the premiership. It's definitely not over till the final whistle for the Quins. Because second halves, they just take it to that next level and they don't normally come down from that. Possession at the moment, 60% in favour of the Sharks compared to the Harlequins, who are only sitting at around that 40% mark. As we currently sit, we're just going to have a very quick update on the Sevens. It's halftime in that game that's taken place. Okay, that's working out well. That's kind of about where we expected it to be. It's all good. Oh, I'm back on Uruguay, Japan. That's the wrong button. There we go. It also leads to 22 from the line. Are you doing other European matches today, says Richard? With the sevens, they will have a few overlaps. So due to that, the other matches we are doing, Samoa versus Ireland, that's actually taking place in 4 minutes' time, which is why my co-commentator is going to be coming in. Then alongside that, there is going to be the matchup taking place between South Africa and France. That's a 4 a.m. game. That overlaps with Clermont versus Stormers. And then those quarterfinal fixtures will be just around the corner. So I do have to get those ones set up as well. Kicked in behind by the Harlequins, going back for another penalty in favour of this Quinn side. Now, this one, it's a kickable 3 if they want it here, the Harlequins, but they don't normally want the easy 3s. They'd prefer make it difficult for themselves, go for the corner. It looks like Tommaso Allen. What's the call here? He's got the ball in hand. Straight looking at the corner, looking absolutely nowhere else but to put this ball 5 meters out. And also, we've got their Bulls versus Lyon is something good to watch before England versus France. Says Sebastian. Yeah, that one will be at 6:30 a.m., isn't it? Somewhere around there. Same time as the first men's sevens quarterfinal. Sorry, I was watching the last little bit of A-League as Miss Pimpy scored. He has scored, Aiden. So you are a very lucky man once again. Please stop betting all your money, as one day you will lose it, and it will not be a good outcome. Afternoon Kiwi lads working here, so missing some of the rugby action. Keep the game rocking. Amos Sharks to win. There's Roof there, 5 minutes out. Walker throws in, almost stolen. Yes, it is by the Sharks. I mentioned that with Etzebev and Robala. That's somewhere they're going to be extremely strong for the Sharks side. But now in the pocket, Hendrickse kicks it high. Looks like it's being touched. So he keeps it. No, that's a foot in touch. And now the Sharks will have themselves the line out. Putting in a little bit of extra pressure there. Danny Kerr gives him the pat on the back. Says, don't worry about that one, mate. But that was a mistake from the Harlequins that they couldn't afford to have. And that is that line out time I'm talking about there. Trying to slap it to the side. Unable to do so for Kenningham. Pepsi Boudelez, jumps on the opportunity. Good luck at work, Roof. Remember, never graft. Just do the bare minimum not to get fired, says Sebastian. It's great advice. Something I probably should have done at the supermarket when I was working there, but I was doing about 4 or 5 different people's jobs all at once. Now, rolling maul for the Sharks. Hendrickse puts the ball high here once again. And speak later, catch up with the scoreboard. 5 tries. There's Roof there, nicely taken by the Harlequins. Ball's going to be available here. Danny Kerr. So Kerr is once again going to be firing it back to some of his big forwards. Try and hit it up and get a few extra meters on the board. Or a few extra meters on the field, I should say. I'm told to use it here for Danny Kerr. Ball's gone high, partially charged by Eben Etzebev. It's going to be a nice take from Kerwin Bosch. Counter-attack now for the South Africans, the Sharks. Here comes Makazole Mapimpi in a foot race with Marchant. Goes for the grubber in behind. Has to tap that one back in. Oh, it's slammed down, and it's a dangerous play for the fullback, Smith. Nice play from Pimpy. But what we will be doing now, ladies and gentlemen, we've thrown it over to our other co-commentator. We will be going over to Samoa versus Ireland. My mum is going to be joining us. It's currently 2:30 a.m. here in New Zealand. She's going to be here for the live stream. So what I will do is I will sub out. She will come in. I'll do my other live stream, and then I'll be back for the second half. But I will see you all in a bit of time. Welcome in to the Mumsy.
Yeah, g'day. How's it going, everyone? I'm still half asleep, so I apologise for what I'm about to say. So they got a scrum on the 5 metre line. Thanks, Hamish. All right. Sharks got the feed. And how's everyone doing? It's not early morning over wherever everyone else is. All right. I don't know half these players' names, so I apologise now. All right. Into the scrum. Oh, blindside. No, PP scores. Woo! That looked a bit too easy, actually. Where was the blindside? Hello, Sebastian. How's it going? How much did he pay you? Not enough. I know. So, Sharks, 22-7. I think my scoreboard's going to be a bit slow. Good afternoon to you too. It's actually 2:30 in the morning. I don't know why I got up. Enjoy work, Ruth. All right, 22-7 with a kick to come from the corner. Who's the kicker? Bosch. Okay, he's got 3 from 3. Excuse me if I keep yawning because. But how's everyone going? I'm not used to commentating. I'm used to reading the comments, and Hamish does all the commentary, or Craig's Hamish's dad, who's still in bed. What we do for our children, eh? 3 a.m. afternoon. No. Early morning, dark outside. I don't know how Hamish does it. Gets up halfway through the night and starts commentating. Oh, nice kick from the sidelines. Unfortunately, hits the post. So 22-7. Okay, so it's the I'm assuming the Sharks are favourites. Hi, MT. Oh, Canada. Always wanted to go to Canada. Haven't been there yet. Might get there one day. They're just replaying the try. Okay, Harlequins are kicked off, controlled by Sharks. And the 22. Back to the halfback, who's going to up and under. Oh, that's bounced into no man's land. Harlequins have got the ball now on attack. Oh, high tackle from the prop from Sharks. Penalty advantage for Harlequins. In the centre of the field. Oh, Sharks tried to get that off them, but just run it into touch. Sharks defence too strong, but they'll go back for the penalty, which is in the middle of the field. About 35 metres out, maybe. Yeah. Number 1, the prop from the Sharks, just a wee bit high. And we've got a penalty in midfield. Oh, 29 minutes gone. Hamish basically said I'd only have to commentate for 10 minutes and 10 minutes into the half-time break, but this will be lucky if it gets to half-time by the time Hamish comes back. Right, Harlequins are kicked it into the corner. Line about 10 metres out. Okay, hooker to throw it in. Sharks stole the line out, but it was illegal. Penalty, Harlequins. Right, what are they going to do from here? Kick it into the corner. Yeah. I don't know why when they kick it for the corner, you might as well give it to the prop to kick it out because they're that close. 1:30, mate, getting ready for the sun to go down. Oh, okay. Gareth, wonder why the viewership goes up once Mum comes on. Has it gone up? No, it's probably gone down. Right. Sharks have stolen the line out again, bringing it out from their goal line. Harlequins trying to get it back. Over the top. Referees let it go. Back to the Bosch, who kicks. Clearance kick. Short of the halfway. Harlequins throw it in quickly. And on attack again. Oh, giving it to the prop. He pushed that other fella off. Harlequins still got the ball. Shot. Quick tap, another quick penalty. Onto the 22, drops the ball. Advantage Sharks, who kick it through. And it's gone right down to the 22. Quins cleared it back to halfway. Quick throw in from the Sharks. Jesus, this is a quick game, isn't it? My peep. Oh, that now Sharks under penalty advantage on the just before the halfway. Is it always this fast paced this competition? All right. Penalty Sharks. This side, their own half. Oh, Bosch is going to kick it out. And he's kicked it to about the 22 inside Quins half. It's a bit scrappy from the Quins, actually. They should have been down the other end. Right, throw from the Shark. 32 minutes gone. On the Quins 22. Yep, clean line out throw. Now driving more. Not too many Quins players in there trying to stop this. Right, the halfback's got it out to the first. Oh no, out for the second 5. Oh, chucked it out to the second 5 who dropped the ball. Wasn't a very good pass. And now Sharks have killed the ball. Tried to anyway. Quins have now got a relieving penalty just outside the 22. Quins are going to kick it out. Good kick. Into the half of Sharks. Probably about 30 metres out. This is actually quite hard work trying to talk all the time, isn't it? Yeah. So apologies for not naming players because I don't know half of them. But, all right, so Harlequins are going to throw into the line out. Hopefully they do a bit better than what they have been because they haven't. Sharks keep stealing their line out. 34 minutes gone. Throwing into the line out. Clean take from the lock. Out to the halfback. Onto the centres. Trying to steal it, Sharks again, but oh, nice wee offload there onto the 22. Out to the forward, still trying to in passes and all that. Oh, out to the second 5. Some big tackles there. Into the 22. Right, who's got it now? The Quins still got it. Oh, another penalty. Jeepers. Oh, flung it out to the to the hooker on the wing and intercepted. So penalty advantage. There must be a warning here shortly. Too many penalties. Yep. Referee's given the Sharks a final warning. Go on. Good old Sebastian. No one knows who the Sharks players are. Thanks for that, mate. All right, another penalty. What are they going to do here? They keep kicking it out into the corner, so they're going to do the same thing. Yep. So just inside the 22, inside Sharks 22, and Quins have kicked it out, and we've got a line out on the 5-metre line. Right. I don't know why they're going for lineouts because they keep losing them, the Quins, but yep, less than 5 minutes to play. Right out. Quins into the lineout. Who's it going to go to? So Sebastian, are you a Quins? Clean take by the lock. pushing towards the try line. Over to, yes, try awarded. No idea who's got it. Someone under there. Where is Hamish? He's in the next room doing the sevens. Okay, there's a try scorer. Good rolling maul. All right. I don't know who that is. It's one of the forwards. They haven't said who scored the try yet. Oh. You do anything to help your kids out, don't you, really? Yeah. No doubt he'll shout me a beer later. Geez, the Quins coaches look quite young. Okay, number 7 for the Quins, which is Will Evans. Okay. Right. Seeing if they can convert this. And converts it. Well done. 22-14. Make sure it's an expensive beer. Bloody oath. It's coming up Christmas. I'll be thirsty. Rightio, back to halfway. Sharks are taking their time. Oh, we're having a water break. No, it's a water break. I heard everyone saying it was, Hamish saying it's quite humid over there. Well, why would you have a water break with only 3 minutes to go? Yeah. Rightio. Quick water break. Back to halfway. Sharks about to kick off. A plum porter Grand Reserve. What the hell is that? A beer? What a mouthful. Imagine going to the bar and asking for a plum porter Grand Reserve. By about the 10th one, you'd just about be stuffed. Right. Sharks are kicked off. Quins have secured the ball. Halfback to kick it up and under. Oh, no, it's too easy for the Sharks. Oh, good run by the number 8, I think. Oh, bit scrappy in there. Quins have got the ball back. No, they haven't. Trying to. Sharks have got the ball. Oh, prop having a big run. Tackled on the whatever that line is. In the Quins half. And then they knocked it on. Who's number 8? Policia, okay. Yeah, good run by the number 8, but they lost the ball again. 6.5% beer blended with port wine. Oh, okay. It's a fancy beer with plum hints, flesh, and can offer more details. Oh, okay. 6.5% for a beer. That's quite high alcohol percentage. Rightio, we're back to the rugby. We've got, 1.5 minutes to go. Quins have got the ball. About to put it in the scrum, and Sharks have got a short arm. Or Quins have got a short arm penalty for something in the scrum. Not sure what that was for. So Quins going to relieve it, and high up and under, which has gone way too far. Oh, Sharks have messed that up in the 22. Right. Sharks have got the ball and have got penalised for, quick tap by the halfback. Held up. Quins, good. Okay, so the Sharks got penalised for sealing it off in their 22. Quins got the ball. Quick tap by the halfback, ran and gave it to the big number 4, who went over the line but was held up. So now Sharks have to kick it off the 22 line. Oh, they're saying he was in front of the mark anyway, but referee didn't seem to notice. Right, drop out from under the goalpost from Sharks. Regathered by Wash and given to the number 12. Out the back line to the number 8 and threw it forward. A lot of turnovers in this game, isn't there? So Quins give the ball up. Scrum Sharks just past the 20 past the 22. There's a bit of a wry grin from the guy that passed that. He didn't think it was forward, but you never think it's forward when you throw it yourself, do you? Right. Past into extra time. I'd say Sharks will just feed this into the scrum and kick it out with the. The brain's not working. Oh yeah, Sharks feed under the scrum. Under the scrum. Just holding it in the scrum. I don't know why. Out to the first 5 who kicks it out. It's half time. Wait. 22-14 to the Sharks. So so Sharks must be favourite, but everyone wants Quins to win. Is that right? Yeah, Sebastian trailing by 8 at half time. Yeah, I mean, from what I saw, the Sharks had a lot of the ball, but Harlequins had their chances, so you never know in the second half. Might be like the Soccer World Cup, the Football World Cup. A lot of people winning games that shouldn't be. Who knows? Might be an upset. Who knows? So I wonder how Hamish is going. How you going, Hamish? How much time have I got? Really? Still? What am I going to talk for that? Sorry, I'm talking to Hamish in the other room. Yeah, so they're just advertising Christmas movies. Oh, I can turn that down. So, what's everyone up to? I mean, normally the halftime breaks, they used to be 10 minutes, but for some reason they're about 15 now. Do they need that much time? Because there's so much stoppage on the field as well. I don't get that. Young boy Pete. Gee whiz, this chap has a good mum. I get a clip behind the ears if I'm not at work. Yeah, that's what happens when your son works from home. You have to work from home too. Oh, any good Christmas films? Well, my all-time favourite is Elf. I don't know why. Yeah, Die Hard movies are all right. They're good for a not laugh, but yeah. There's heaps of movies. I've been watching Christmas movies for the last probably month on Netflix and Prime, Amazon Prime. So I don't know why, because I don't mind Christmas, but normally we put the Christmas tree up about Christmas Eve, especially if it's at our place. So what other good Christmas movies are there? Oh, Bad Santa. I don't know if that's a good Christmas movie, but good for a laugh. Excuse me. Oh. So are you going away for Christmas, Sebastian, or are you sticking around home, family at home, maybe? Hey, I think I've lost a few viewers, Hamish. But it is half time, eh? A lot of people go away, don't they, at half time? Nicolas Cage. Oh, I can't stand him as an actor. Don't know why. Isn't his dad some big movie director anyway? But he doesn't use his name. Wendy's on the ropes. I called it Aussies making 200 and clearing. Wow. I hadn't caught up on that. No offence, you should go back to bed and leave us to chat to each other. We're used to chatting crap to each other. Yeah, I know. I hear it sometimes. So what else is happening in the cricket? See Pakistan all out for 202. England might be in there again. It's Stumps day 2. And England are 202 for 5. Well, you'll be hoping for another win there, Sebastian, for England. And Aussie. Oh, West Indies 38 for 4. Oh, I hope they fight a bit better than that. Sticking around with my folks, it's all about family time at Christmas, plus me mum cooks a mean Christmas dinner, simply lovely. Oh, yeah, see, us mums are pretty good at Christmas. My mum does a lovely turkey as well, and I did a turkey last year, doing a turkey this year, and got a really good stuff, turkey stuffing. And we do meatballs as well, and my brother loves it, so hopefully I don't stuff that up this year. No pun intended. It's always good when you get together with your family at Christmas time. My brother's coming home from Aussie. We haven't seen him for 3 years, so it should be really good. Daughter coming home as well, Hamish's sister. So first time, I think we only have one niece won't be there. She's in the UK, so. But apart from that, everyone's going to be here, which is great. First time for a while. Russell, that bloke is laugh. Yeah, I'm talking about my other brother. Russell's actually in Christchurch or Rolleston, so he's coming home as well. But he's only about 2.5 hours up the road. So, but my other brother, he's over in Aussie, so he's coming home from Sydney. And Russell, yeah, we should get him on over the break. See how long he's home over Christmas and get him in with Hamish, because those two just bounce off one another. Yeah, Windies haven't fired a shot since Viv Richards retired. I'd probably agree with that. Though, it does take time to rebuild, but they just haven't had the firepower with their bowlers and that. They've still got good players there, but it's pretty tough on them. Wait till you have to cook it for 12-plus family. We had a few last year. I think we had about 20 odd, but only about 13 this year. So downsizing. We're feeding the entire neighbourhood. Good on you. How big's your neighbourhood? How many are in it? So you'd have it'll be cold over there at Christmas too. Is it a white Christmas or just really cold? Kiwi Mum, have a great day. Thank you. I'm going back to bed shortly as soon as Hamish takes over. I still don't know how he does it though, because some of these live streams he gets up in the middle of the night, does them and goes back to bed or stays up and broken sleep. I don't know how he does it. Tell Hamish he is a legend. I think he knows that. It's pretty cool how many subscribers and that. And you guys following him all the time is great with the chat and that. It's hard to believe he was just such a quiet boy years, when he was a toddler. He used to hide behind me and wouldn't talk to anyone. Such a shy wee boy. Now look at him. Isn't that great? Okay, Flesh, and I presume you're from Blackpool. Needs feeding proper food. Everyone has different traditions at Christmas, though, don't they? I mean, even in New Zealand, not a lot of people, well, probably some have turkey, some have lamb, some have ham. No, yeah, some people don't like turkey. I love it. But Cam Williams covers the tennis. Oh, okay. Who's he? He must be another YouTuber, is he? It's amazing how many YouTubers are out there now. To think that Hamish, it didn't seem that long ago he only had 1,000 subscribers. Now he's got, what, 21,000? It's awesome. It's a whole new world, and it's amazing. It is really, really cool. They're just showing athletics. Oops, the hurdles. Oh, you're not from Blackpool. Okay. Hamish will tell me where you're from. He's got that he's got a great memory. Oh, I think Hamish is coming back shortly, so you won't have to put up with me for much longer. So it's been fun. Half asleep, but hey, that's what happens at this time of morning. Hello.
Whoops, that was the wrong button. Hello, Mum. Sorry about that. I cut you off. Wait a minute. It's the wrong screen. There we go. Hello again.
Hello.
Are you heading back to bed, are you?
Need them on, do I? Shortly, yeah. Are you going to take over? I think I've just lost all your viewers for you. Sorry, mate.
That's all right. It's all good. Livestream's still rolling. It's better having you there than just having a scoreboard, which I see is relatively close at the moment. 22 points to 14. At the moment in favour of the Sharks. See some good rugby. Did you enjoy it?
It wasn't too bad. It's a lot of penalties and killing the ball and stuff like that. Drop ball and Quins kept losing the lineouts in their 22 or in Sharks 22. But it's not a bad score, I don't think. 22-14.
Oh, Harlequins are known for their second half comebacks. So I think the second half is still going to be a very exciting one indeed. I heard you telling a story about me hiding behind you when I was a toddler. Thanks for that one. They'll use that one against me now.
Why? You're a shy wee kid.
And now I talk to myself at random hours of the night.
Yeah.
Who would have thought? Oh, well, I might as well let you head back to bed, Mumsy.
So what do I do here?
I can remove you and I'll pack it all up after.
You'll pack it up? Good on you.
Back to bed. Thank you for doing this. I have to get you another steamer, won't I?
No, you owe me an expensive beer, which I don't think we can get here anyway.
Okay. I mean, I can buy you a box of Heineken.
Yeah.
Won't it?
Yeah.
That was very quick.
It's Christmas.
It is Christmas indeed.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you very much for being here. And I guess I'll see you in the morning. I will still be up.
Oh, I think I'm sleeping in.
Alrighty. We'll see you later on, Mumsy.
Yeah. See you later. See you guys.
Bye. Right, so looking at the score, 22 points to 14 at the moment in favour of the Sharks. I believe I've missed one try while I was away for the Quins. Maybe one try for the Sharks also, as the score was 17 points to 7 at the time that I was last on the stream. If Hamish moved to Australia, he might be playing Sheffield Shield. Marnus did not speak English when he moved here. So I guess I've already got that advantage over Marnus. They were saying, although the difference between me and Marnus can bat. I cannot. I'm not the best overall, but I should mention my team today. Anyone who's curious about the way that our cricket team's been going throughout the competition, they had the semi-final. First team, Pleasant Point, they were able to get 189 on the board. Our team falling a little bit short, 153. So they'll be playing off for the 3rd and 4th place in the near future. I believe that's going to be next week. I might even have a run in that matchup, depending on how it goes. Anyone who is new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Currently, it is half-time. 22 points to 14. The Harlequins, definitely known as a second half side. So I would not be concerned one bit if you are a Harlequin supporter. Sebastian knows this feeling well and truly too well. The fact that they can be down by 20, make that last little 20-minute margin count, and then go on and win themselves a competition. I think my internet's playing up just a little bit here. Doesn't seem like I can actually load up anything on my phone, which is concerning, but hopefully it is going to be all right throughout the second half of this live stream. I may have to reset it before we get to the end of the day. But we have got another live stream coming up at 4 a.m. That will be South Africa taking on France. in the Cape Town Sevens. That's also going to be a home game for a South African side, and they'll be looking to get themselves a bit further through. The last of the sevens that we learned about was actually the fact that Ireland have missed out. So they've gone from a final last week to missing the top 8 this week, and instead Uruguay booked themselves a spot in the matchup up against the Kiwis, which will be an interesting game. And the Windies out for 135, and we will actually be covering that first session on the channel tomorrow, starting at 5 p.m. New Zealand time. Should be a good one. We saw some brilliant bowling from Scotty Boland, getting 3 wickets in 1 over, not conceding a run. A triple wicket maiden for that man. He was lacking wickets in the first innings, did a lot better in the second already. Currently, still half time in this one between the Quins and the Sharks. Do let me know your score predictions, ladies and gentlemen. I think the best thing about doing that Sevens live stream was I didn't have to sit through majority of the ads at halftime, because normally they show the food ones at this time of night, which always sucks because we can't actually get food here at this time, seeing as it is 3 a.m. But the Harlequins now making their way back out onto the field. Sharks, by the sounds of it, their rolling ball's been effective, and also their line out, whereas the Harlequins have actually struggled at line-out time a little bit, unable to win as many as they normally would. That is due to that pressure of Eben Etzebeth and also Gurran Grobler. And also the Sharks, the winners for sure, 31 points to 26, says Kingi To'o for that prediction. But now it will be the Sharks kicking off from right to left in this matchup. Eben Etzebeth, the beast, when he's out there on the field, will be looking to put in a big performance here as well. We will go like this and like this. There we go. And we are all sorted, ready to go for the second half here, ladies and gentlemen. Alex Tom Brandt with the big carry to start us off. Saw him a little bit in the first 25 minutes of the game that we were covering. Danny Keir now, though, rolling this ball back for the Quins. They're 8 points down. They've been there, done that in the Premiership. Good chase from Murley. Tries to take out Pepsi Buthelezi, who breaks the tackle, and now the Sharks in a good position on the field. 45 metres out. Makazole Mapimpi puts the grubber in. It rolls into touch. Already a try scorer in this matchup. Now, Harlequins going to have themselves the line out. The part of their game that has been struggling just a little bit. I did hear a little bit earlier on from, I think it was Fleshin as well, about how I need to make sure I get my mum something nice. I certainly will. Other than just the Heineken, be sure to get her something as well. I think I'm going to get her a Black Caps kit, or a Black Caps cap, I should say. Even though it was a rugby live stream that she did, I'm hoping to get her in a few of those cricketing live streams coming up alongside me, Pakistan versus New Zealand. So I feel like a Black Caps kit, or Black Caps cap, would be a pretty nice touch. Also, maybe some chocolate. Chocolate's a good way to go. Hurricanes are not playing. Harlequins are. And they've got this one 25 metres out from their line. Going for the box kick again from Danny Keir. Swirling in the breeze. Stays up there for a while. Retained. And Evans has been able to regather. Tackled by his opposite number, Vincent Chichuka. As a Stormers AA team. Don't like it at all. Says Etene. And they're going to be going head here with Clermont in their upcoming game. Only just around the corner also. Danny Keir now. Is it back to Tommaso Allen? Gets some good distance on that. Taken nicely by Chamberlain. Now passes off to Makazole Mapimpi. He'll look to attack the line. He doesn't like to kick too often. Mapimpi driven backwards in their tackle. Good clean out from the Sharks. Oxnashire now. Taken down nicely. And the tackle by Dino Lamb. Looks like Hendrickson now will be sending up the box kick. Actually a very similar start to what we see in that first half. Our both sides just going for their kicks, waiting for that opportunity. Try and find that gap. Makazole Mapimpi looked like he was very close to being in front of the kicker there, but he's done well to knock it back onto the side of Eben Etzebeth. Nicely taken by Marchant. He would have been gone, but they'll go back for the initial knock on from the Quins. And Osisa has said the Sharks there in the chat as well. And I should mention we are also going to be covering that sevens match between South Africa and France. That's taken place only a little bit away. It's in Cape Town for the sevens. So they are also experiencing that extreme heat. Oh, that's not a knock on against Tommaso Allen there. That's a big call because that could have been the runaway for Joe Marchant. No, oh, wow. The referee said no knock on by Blue. My bad. You can have the scrum if it makes you feel better. The Harlequins now going to have themselves the scrum. It won't quite feel as nice as that Joe Marchant try would have. Now they're going to be going, what is Ibanezabeth doing? He's kind of taking a heap of tape off his arm. I believe someone's going to have to go on there and clean that up for him. They're saying, let's go for the scrum. Ibanezabeth's saying, mate, I've got half of my arm dangling off here with strapping. Decided it was a bit too tight. The referee's telling them still, go get him the scrum. I think they were just waiting a little bit longer. Yeah, they were waiting for Ibanezabeth. The referee didn't realise that he was unravelling his arm. Now scrum feed for the Quins. They've struggled at scrum time as well. The set piece has really gone the way of the South Sea Sharks. Whereas that backline movement, when the Quins start to find that free-flowing style, they can be one of the best teams to watch. It's gone down in the front row. Don Brand gets it back to Danny Kerr, who now gives it off to Martin. Ball on the outside to Murley. Makazole Mapimpi wasn't out on his wing. Murley decides he's got a bulldoze over the top. Counter ruck from the Sharks again. Trying to keep that ball down. It could have been a not releasing penalty in favour of the Sharks. Good shot there. 22 metres out. That's cool. Going to be interesting, says Fleshin. It could be a massive one, and the Sharks win the penalty in the breakdown. Quins will be disappointed. It was a good line break initially, though. Out the wing. Murley doing nicely, but in the end, just not releasing there. Hayden Murley. He's a strong player out on the wing. Like I mentioned, the Quins, they're stacked for talent in their backline. The players they're missing. They haven't got Marcus Smith, Lewis Liner, also out on another wing or at fullback. Tyrone Green. We was robbed, says Gareth there. Which one? In that breakdown, I assume maybe Gareth? Possibly. Because, yeah, it did look like it could have been a penalty in favour of the Sharks, although they do get the penalty in the end. Murley, nicely done. But this breakdown here, I felt could have been a Sharks penalty. In the end, was actually a big number 3. They weren't able to shift it with Springboks. 6 Springboks. Why do the Sharks keep stuffing up everything in the finals? Says Aiden. I guess it's just building that chemistry again. Because, yes, they've got those 6 Springboks, but alongside that, you've got to try and find a way of putting those guys back into a side that's already pretty well established. It's like when you see, for an example, we're just going to go with a cricket analogy, the BBL. All of those test players for Australia, when they return to the side, you expect them to do well, but sometimes they just don't quite connect with those teammates that they did have. And in rugby, with it being a contact sport, can be pretty brutal if you're not quite finding your teammates, not quite putting it together. Can always be tough. The Sharks at the moment, they're just trying to find that chemistry again. They don't lose their Springboks for a wee while now, up until about maybe June. So they should have plenty of time to find it. And ATV bad coaching structures, too many chefs are boiling or spoiling the broth, says Gareth there. Yeah, too many cooks in the kitchen, as we say here in New Zealand. I feel like we simplify that rather than chefs spoiling the broth. We just go too many cooks in the kitchen. Normally what's called for in a barbecue when you've got about 7 different guys all going, I can fry the sausages. Quick tap taken by Jaden Hendricks that tries to go in behind. Almost a knock on. Oh, they've said it is one. Kane and Murley's disappointed. He feels that he put that ball backwards. The Sharks, they'll have themselves a scrum feed sitting 22 metres out from their own line. Call the Coppers. There's been a robbery in Durban. Also, the Sharks had an unfair call go against them, says Sebastian. Bounce of the rugby ball can be a brutal thing at times. So it seems to be that both sides have had those little, I guess, or quite big calls against them. Was that in the minutes that I was away, Sebastian? That one? Because I know that both teams scored. Would you be able to let me know who scored those tries? The one for the Sharks and the one for the Harlequins. My mumsy, I assume she's already sound asleep again, to be honest, but we're going to treat her to a nice lunch on Monday. I've already decided we're going to take her up to Timaru. Take her out for lunch. Be fed in by Jaden Hendrickser. Nicely done. Once again, a nice leg drive there from the Sharks. They've got another advantage for that side. Nearest to the referee going down Tapawai. Off now to 13. Not quite taken by Kerwin Bosch. They'll go back for the penalty. Umbanambi, did he score a second one? Another rolling maul try. Nice work by the Sharks if that is the case. And it's definitely a very strong one. Mapimpi too. And Will Evans. Okay, so number 7 for the Quins. Was the Quins one a runaway try, or was it like just structure with the forwards breaking around the side of the breakdown? And also, this is the best channel, hoping you are going to do the Bulls versus Leon game. I feel bad. Mikhail, unfortunately, we won't be doing that game live, but we will be keeping you updated while doing the quarterfinals of the Cape Town Sevens, which will involve the Blitz box. So we will at least have a little bit of South African in there and also a bit of French alongside that as well. But yeah, it's a bit unfortunate that all of the games do overlap for the Champions Cup and also the Sevens. Next weekend, we don't have the problem of the Sevens taking place. So it does mean we will be able to cover a lot more of the Champions Cup. And more tries, says Johan there. Now it looks like there could be, wait a minute, what ball's that? They've got 2 balls on the field. Oh, no. This is quite bad because the Harlequins chased after that other ball, whereas the Sharks were still playing with the current one. It could have been brutal for the Quins. About 2 of their players were like, yes, the ball's come free. We'll get it. Vincent Achuka. It's a knock-on against them. The Harlequins have this one in their hands for half a second. Now it's going to be the scrum feed for the Quins. Yeah, second ball on the field. That's something you don't see too often. I'm trying to work out if there's any sports that have 2 balls. Just off the top of my head, can't think of them. Kia ora here in New Zealand. No, that might just be 1 ball as well. And we'll be live on Tuesday for the Big Bash. Or will you be live? We certainly will be. And also, it hurts my feelings because I'm a French supporter, says Mikhail there. But yeah, we'll be sure to keep you updated with what is happening in that Lyon game. Same with when Clermont are playing up against the Stormers in a little bit. We'll be doing those Sevens games, but also keeping you updated. But who's your team, Mikhail? I'll see who they play next week, and I'll tell you whether or not we have got that live stream on the cards. But we've got plenty more coming up. The Six Nations, we're going to watch France possibly dominate again in that competition. Any sport with men playing it. Says Fleschen, very true. Few balls around. Nice work from the Harlequins. Joe Marchant, Murley. Now kicks it downfield again. Awkward swirling one. Beautiful. Beautiful was the word I was looking for Biota Chamberlain's pick up now. Werner Koch going to be kicking him behind, looking for the 50-22. It's going to be a bit long, or is it? Werner Koch waits for it. He gets the try. And what a try it is for Werner Koch. That is how you finish your own try right there. And also, we'll get any sport. Well, I know of your six tape. 2 balls. Maybe. Got a ring to it, doesn't it? But Werner Koch, what a try that is from the South African winger. Charges on. Once again, though, the Harlequins, they have been able to come back from 13-0 deficits before. So they're a weird team, the Harlequins. Sebastian, you will agree, being a Harlequin supporter. At no point throughout a game, even though it should feel like the Sharks have all the momentum, should be going on to win this game, because of what you normally see from the Quins, you just kind of sit here like, comeback's coming at some point. Maybe it doesn't in South Africa. And that killed off all of my confidence, says Sebastian. And yeah, as well. See how it goes. All them in the final moments. It was a great try scored by the Sharks, though. Now, Herwin Bosch to try and make the score a little bit more of a deficit, which would make it 15, which would actually mean the Harlequins need 2 converted tries and something to get themselves the lead in the contest. The Champions Cup. There's a few other matches taking place later on tonight. There is Lyon taking on the Bulls. Also, Clermont versus the Stormers. Another matchup that's taking place. There's another game which no one's really talked about. It's between a Gallagher Premiership side and a French side, maybe. And that was a great try, says Flesh, and it certainly was. Herwin Bosch, he has got it over. That's going to make the score now 29 points to 14. The Harlequins, quite the deficit there. That lady was flexing her muscles in the stands. 2 balls and now a cock, says Gareth there. That could be the name of the sex tape, perhaps. Nice work from Werner Koch. Being able to chase after that one the way that he did, it was impressive. The Shark supporters were cheering well and truly. 53 minutes through, nicely taken by Pepsi Buthelezi. And the bonus point now on the board for the Sharks. Harlequins at minimum will want to walk away from this game with the losing bonus point or the bonus point for scoring 4 or more tries. There's still 27 minutes left. Kick downfield, nicely taken by the number 15 here, Nick David. He's done pretty well in this game. Compared with the pressure on him, that's going to be a clean turnover by the Sharks. Another penalty. Starting to flow now, the South These Sharks, Neil Powell doesn't have much of a smile on his face, but he will if they can finish off this game with a nice win. Right, that's about 40, probably 49 out on the angle, maybe even 52. Sia Khaleesi points to the corner. Kerwin Bosch says, are you sure? I could kick it from here for 3 if you want it. Okay, they're going to go for the shot. It took too long to decide. Almost for them. Kerwin Bosch is going to be lining up another 3-pointer. He's been kicking extremely well today. I'm going to very quickly look at the TAB odds. I just have to, because even though they should be out of it, the Harlequins, you just never know, do you? Right, the TAB at the moment in this game, I cannot find it. Sevens rugby is not what this is. Sport, that's what we're after. While the kick is being taken by Kerwin Bosch, we can have a quick look at the rugby union odds. Okay, so the Champions Cup, Harlequins are $18 underdogs. This is normally where people make their money off the Harlequins. There might just be a little bit too much of a deficit today for them to be able to get back into it. Just never know, though. Normally, it's those X-Factor players, Lewis Liner, Marcus Smith, who do change a game around. Now, Kerwin Bosch. This kicked the line up, taking some deep breaths here. Still 25 minutes on the clock. Are you going to do the Stormers game too, says TikTok Reloaded? We are not, unfortunately, due to us doing the matchup between the Sharks and the... Sorry, not the Sharks, the South Africans and the French. It does overlap. That's a good kick. No, just goes away to the right-hand side. So the Harlequins remain as $18 underdogs. I'm quickly going to look at the other game. Right, oh, there's a water break. That gives us a good amount of time to be able to do this. Champions Cup. The moment, I mean, the odds for that one are actually also very similar to this contest. Usually Marcus Smith is a massive contributor to those comebacks. Indeed, not an option today, though. And Koch just has to be the best player for a pro team, or best name for a pro team player. Serious question. But yeah, later on we have got the quarterfinal matches. I believe we're going to be doing the Fiji versus USA game for the women's side of things. So that is why that also overlaps with Stormers versus Clermont. But next week we are hoping to cover a lot more of the Champions Cup. It has just been due to the overlaps. It's made it a bit tricky this week because of all the sevens. We do love ourselves some sevens on the channel. It's always hard to decide which one to do, which is why I ended up getting my mum to do about 25, 30 minutes of this live stream so that we could keep it going. And also, so we have somewhere for you guys to talk about the game. It's another water break, though, like I mentioned, 25 minutes left on the clock. That missed kick from Kerwin Bosch, I believe it's almost one of his first missed kicks of the day. Been pretty strong. Busy schedule for you, Hamish. There's TikTok Reloaded. Exactly right. I don't think we're getting much sleep today either, but pretty much we're going right through. It's currently 3:18, 3:19 now here in New Zealand. The time I'm going to bed is probably about 8:30, so I've still got another 5 hours awake on top of the already about 14 hours I have already been awake. So we're going to have another about 20-hour day, about maybe 9 hours of streaming. It's a bit crazy when you think about it, but we keep on going. We've got plenty more streams tomorrow. We've got the playoff games for the sevens. We've got the West Indies versus Australia, possibly the final session of that one. Viota Chamberlain takes it nicely for the Sharks, just inside of his own half. That ball's hanging up in the air, not taken cleanly by the Quins, but now Jack Walker able to take it. Now driving up the middle. Bongi on Manumbi makes a nice tackle. The Sharks just too quick in the breakdown, although a little bit wrong there. Didn't quite get it right. No clear release from number 3. Apologizes to his teammates, but boy, he's quick in the breakdown. And also we have got the Hamish, will you be up for the UFC? Or Hamish will be up for the UFC, everyone. Unfortunately, you have to miss Rahovic going up against his opposition, who's undefeated. I can't remember the guy's name, though, unfortunately. I can see him in my head. Can't quite remember the name. And then Paddy Pimblett taking on Gordon in the co-main event. And Pimblett seems to be getting a little bit of stick at the moment, doesn't he? It seems to be that some people love him one week and then everyone hates him the next. 24 minutes through. 24 minutes to go, I should say. Jack Walker out to throw the ball in for the Harlequins, taken nicely at the front. Swatted down collapses. So no penalty against the Sharks for that one, or no advantage either. Now going for Joe Marler. Nice carry straight at Sia Khaleesi. Little kick him behind from Danny Kerr. Taken great from Hendrickson. Gets the mark. Bongi Umbanambi once again has his refereeing kit on, saying that should have been a penalty. The man just doesn't stop talking, does he? He's almost TJ Perenara, but South African and a forward. Now it's going to be a Harlequins one. Jaden Hendrickson also asking for more meters on his kick. I feel like there's a lot of opportunities for these guys to become referees after they finish playing, because all of them seem to know the rules pretty much word for word. It's nicely taken by the Quins. Yeah, man, go Paddy Pimlet, lad. There's Nazi Williams, another good run forward for Murley. Off his feet there, Bongi Umbanambi. Didn't know that rule. Now wide, cut out pass, waiting for it to bounce. It's an awkward one. It will go back for the penalty for the Harlequins. Double blow of the whistle. Oh. Repeated infringements. Oh, Bongi Umbanambi gets a yellow card. That will really annoy him. That's not good. I shouldn't laugh, but I have to a little bit. I've just said about Bongi Umbanambi how he's always asking the referees for the penalties, and now it's actually a penalty against him. And this one, that kick's too big from the Harlequins. They blow the opportunity to go for the corner. Like they've said, repeated infringements. Just been pretty costly for them, but a man advantage now for the Harlequins. That could be pretty handy getting into the later stages of the contest. Bongi Umbanambi will be disappointed to go off the field there. It looks like they've had to make the change. It will be Daniel Huster who makes his way up there. That's going to be for Vincent Tuchuka. Will be disappointed that his game's going to be slightly cut short for the next little while. Currently 15 points difference. Right. Who will chat to him for 10 minutes? I know, he's all by himself sitting on that chair. I'm sure he'll find someone, whether it's a trainer, dietitian. Currently with the man advantage, though, the Harlequins. Jaden Hendricks about to feed this ball in. They'll be trying to use up as much time as they can here, the Sharks, while with a man disadvantage. Lost their big man, Vincent Tuchuka, very handy. Oh, free kick for the Harlequins. That's something they couldn't wait for, or they didn't need. But now, Tommaso Allen, one more on Reyes and finds the offload. Off to the side. I can't wait for review videos of this game. Says Flesh, and it's going to be interesting. Oh, it's been a seesaw. It's a good bit of work from Oxnashare over the ball. The big South African Lucia props. I messed up the South African word there. But Oxnashare, man who always puts plenty of effort in. Oh, he's just left Sia Khaleesi hanging though. Khaleesi was sitting there going, boy, smack my hand. And Oxnashare just went straight past. I think Pepsi Buthelezi just gave Sia Khaleesi a high five to make sure that he felt better. Plenty of time for a quick says Sebastian there. I was wondering whether I said it loud enough that people actually heard, and I realize now the microphone's pretty good. Go the Sharks, says Ina. Now line out throw for Daniel Huster, the first one of the day for the youngster. 21 minutes remaining in this game, and it's slowly starting to go away from the Harlequins. And also we have got there from Outboy Taz. From Outboy Taz. From our boy TAS. That's TAS Analytics, isn't it? He's grown pretty big, though, to be fair. I wish we could use footage. I feel like we need to... Oh, hang on. What are we looking at here? Is that the Sia Khaleesi clean out? Oh. Okay, it's very lucky that he ducked in that case, but I don't think that's the ruck that they're looking at. We're looking at one coming up soon. There might have been another penalty against the Harlequins, against the Sharks. Keep on saying the wrong team. Very excited at the moment. And Ozzy, you know that, mate. Serge Fleshin. Number 2 white is Bulgaria. So that is Jack Walker. Did have his ball in hand. Or the ball. Right. So he had the ball. Tackle from Oxnashare. Upright. Oh, this is not good. Head on head. That's going to be a yellow card at least here for Oxnachet. They're going to be down 2 forwards. That's not too good here. Harlequins currently $13 underdogs in this game. I can't understand the referee. He's speaking in French. Currently, Harlequins with that yellow card actually dropped down to $8 underdogs. And Amish reactions to that says he agrees with our opinion, says Gareth there. Viwi. There's mitigation, there's a yellow card, I think is what that man's just said. I couldn't tell though. He's a tough man to understand, definitely because I don't speak French. And rugby has become such a joke, says Yanri now. Is that for the Umbanumbi yellow card or for this one for Oxnachet smacking head on head with Jack Walker, Yanri now? Do let me know. And chance for us to clinch a bonus point. Says Sebastian sure is. Have a good opportunity there. Okay, I wish the referee, no offense to French or anything like that, but I wish we knew what he was saying there. Both, says Yanri now. It's a red card. That's a big call. So now South Africa's Sharks are going to be playing with only the 14 men for the rest of this game. They're also playing with 13 currently. 2 of their front row are missing from this contest. So it's going to be the red card for Oxnachet. It's a shame because he just got such a good turnover. But he's off the field now. The crowd boo. For a start, I thought it was going to be just a yellow card, to be honest, for Oxnachet. And also when 2 friends go to war, says Flesh in there. But now it does go like this. And also high at the Sevens by Stadium. Here you go, Yanru. Oh, sorry, Yanlu, I should say. What is the temperature like at the moment? Do let me know. But now the Sharks, they've got to go for the corner here, don't they? Yes, they do. Tommaso Allen this time now needs to kick this one into touch and make sure it goes out too. And it is a joke he wasn't near his head. I mean, he did make head-on-head contact. But I can understand why you would be annoyed with it. Because it probably, for me, should have been a yellow card offence rather than a red. But the way the rule book is, or the law book, they say when it's straight up right, head-on-head contact. Now, Pongi Omanami, he's got a friend to talk to. Actually, why is Vincent Chichuka in the bin? Why is he sitting there rather than Oxnachet? Looks like Machuno now out onto the field. Very cool. It's still hot outside, says Jan Lou Rand. And certainly, nice day in Cape Town by the looks of it. And she's just now, your comrade, says Sebastian, nicely thrown in. The Quins now with a rolling more opportunity. No one said they go off the back. Now big contact, huge bump off from the Quins. Daniel Yusta tries to get in there, unable to do so. Now Jack Walker, another carry. Danny Kerr goes off to the left-hand side. The Quins, great tackle made by the big man, Eben Etzebeth. Now Joe Marchand driven backwards by Kerwin Bosch. And also India won today, says Ryan there. So making the series 2-1, I believe, if I'm not wrong. Joe Marley has the contact. Now Danny Kerr off to Ryan Oosterhuizen. Oh, sorry, Andre Oosterhuizen penalty for South African Sharks. I keep on saying South Africa. I'm just that used to saying it when there's the likes of Khaleesi, Etzebeth, Mapimpi, all those men out there. I just get used to saying the Springboks. Harrigan Rugby gone soft. This COVID broke out. There's there. Not releasing. Penalty against the Quins. And that's going to change the betting odds a little bit again. I'm just watching it out of the corner of my eye, seeing it go like this throughout the match. And it's 2-1. There's Ryan. Good kick downfield. Machunu, he was on the field actually for Tapawai. The fact that they've been able to defend very strongly, the Sharks, even with 13 men currently on the park. It's impressive. Who did I say rather than Andre Esterhazen? What did I call him? I can't even remember. But it wasn't Andre anyway. And Kiwi tried to make Bangladesh versus India Test Series. I really want to do those games, but they aren't being shown here in New Zealand. So unless there's a way of watching it, if we find out that they're in Australia, maybe I can sign up for an Australian subscription to watch it. And which South Africa team do you think has a chance to the championship? We talking United Rugby Championship or the Champions Cup 1-2-3 MS? Do let me know. It's going to be a tough take. Done nicely there, the replacement. Number 23, Willie Edwards, does well. Just having a look through at Leinster's game as well. Yeah, at the moment. Wow. Okay, the Harlequins are actually $5.75 underdogs now in this contest. It's a good kick downfield. Hasn't found touch though, so now going to be another attacking play for the Sharks with Pepsi Buthelezi. A tackle made on him by Alex Dombrand. Think that's going to be off the feet. Now Joe Marler goes over the ball, has given away the penalty. I cannot wait. Oh, I can't wait not to watch the Bangladesh India Test series, says Sebastian. Would you watch it if we did any of the streams though, Sebastian? Would you come in for a chat? I feel like even then we'd probably have to pay you to be here. Yesterday, I got a photo with my favourite women's player, Tyler Nathan Wong. Also support the Black Ferns, my team, says Jan Littlebrand. They're going to be in a head-to-head matchup for their quarterfinals. I believe they're going to be taking on the USA. No, they've got Canada in their matchup, sorry. Vieto Smith, they said, come on, Sharks. No. Fair enough. To be honest, it's completely understandable. I'll come in to troll a bit, says Gareth. Yeah, we might get to see Shish there. Might get to see, I can't remember the other fella's name. He'll be annoyed about that. Kerwin Bosch now lining up another kick to make it even more in favour of the Sharks. And which South African team do you think has a chance to win the championship? Once again, is that the United Rugby Championship 1-2-3 MS? Or is it the Champions Cup? Because I would say it's probably actually a different side for each competition to an extent. Just looking at the way the table's sitting, Champions Cup-wise, you'd say if the Sharks can find their momentum, they've got all the talent in the world out there on the park to be able to win certain matches. Seeing that up against the Harlequins here. But you're talking the URC, maybe more in favour of Stormers, I would say. And if Roman shows up, it's a chance to bollock him what to do, says Sebastian there. Rajni, I won't see Faraz. He's only got eyes for Bubba. Says Gareth down the wing. Nicely offloaded on the inside from the Harlequins. It sounded like they've got the advantage as well. Still trying to attack through the Sharks defence. Jack Walker had a pretty solid game. I think the Stormers, there's 1-2-3 MS for the Champions Cup. They've probably got a very good chance as well. Nice pass on the outside. Now it's going to be Dino Lamb. One more. Close to the touchline, just in the field of play. Sharks over the ball. No hands is the call. Hendricks are taken out of the breakdown. Still 17 minutes on the clock and 32 points to 14 currently. Danny Keir. Pass back again to Marceau Allen. Great sell on a dummy. Offload up. He was almost tackled before he had the ball there, Nick David. Now Keir slings it wide. Lorde with the quick hands. Dombrand. Andre Esterhuizen on South African soil against his former teammates. Scores the try. The crowd don't know whether to boo or cheer for that one because he's a South African. But they're like, hang on, you've just scored against our own side. So they did a little bit of this. 2 claps, and then they're like, hang on. Can't give him too many more. But his third try in the Champions Cup try, says Sebastian. Let's see how Cheetahs perform back on the big stage. Sharks to win the compo, says Pieto there. And also URC too easy for South African teams. Come back to Super Rugby, says Stone Cold. But it was a nice bit of work. They had numbers on the outside. The drawing pass was strong from Dombrand. Just bumped off Makazole Mapimpi like he was nothing. Now making the score a bit closer. So if they were $5 underdogs, they're still $5 underdogs by the looks of it. Will Edwards with the kicking opportunity. This is what we always expect from the Harlequins when you watch them in the Premiership. Normally it's when they do it against 15 men. It's very impressive. Against 13 at the end of the day, still got to go. He's a Shark, not just a Zephyr, says Gareth there. Yeah, a little bit more added to the layers of this Andre Esterhuizen cake. I don't know why I called him a cake. I think it's because of the layers. I could have gone with the Shrek analogy of saying he's like a donkey, or not like a donkey, like an onion. Because they've got layers, as Eddie Murphy would say in the voice of Donkey. Time is off currently. 14 and a half minutes left. Sounds like there's going to be another sub being made. Hey, Joe Marler off the field now. Sharks have just been told, let's try and keep this play going on rather than slowing it down each time we make our way back to halfway. Harlequins now to win by 1-12 is paying $4.80. I'll remind you, ladies and gentlemen, it was $18 earlier on. It's kicked off on the full by the Sharks. Wow. This game's got a bit on it at the moment, I'll be honest. There are layers to this one. Currently, Harlequins to win are actually now $3.80 underdogs. Well, I don't know what to say really, other than this game has taken quite the turn. They're only down by 11. This is where someone like an Eben Etzebeth needs to step up with his experience, tell the younger players, right, we're in a bit of a pickle here, but we need to break momentum. We can't allow the Harlequins to continue going the way they are. And I can imagine you meeting Estes and out of nerves calling him an onion cake munching donkey. Yeah, that's certainly something that we don't want to happen, is it? He'd be confused. And I don't know how you come back from that. Like, what do you say? Sorry, it was when I was live streaming a game that you were playing in, I accidentally called you a cake. Then I called you a donkey. Then I called you an onion, and now I've met you. Come on, says Beto Smith. Big push there from the Harlequins. They've been told to use it. That's going to be front rows going up both sides. Another scrum reset. Like they're saying, valuable time at the moment for the Harlequins to have position. But the Sharks, they've had a strong scrum. I can easily see this one maybe going the way of the Sharks at scrum time. If URC is so easy, you can't beat Leinster, and South Africa lost to Ireland and England. Club rugby at the moment is the worst in the world. So here's Richard there. Another scrum for the Quins, sitting 50 metres out. Still a long way to go before they get to the try line at the moment here. Seen some good tries being scored throughout this fixture, though, that is for sure. Ongium Manambi, I believe he's only another 2 minutes away. It's a free kick to the Sharks. That hurts. And also South Africa sides must just play their A players. So Bulls side look like a young squad trying to rescue A players. What you think? I think the Bulls have got it a little bit wrong because Lyon are a tough side. And to put out a young side up against the second-ranked top 14 side on paper seems crazy. But sometimes it's effective to an extent. So I'm not going to say too much until it's happened, mainly because there's still a chance that they may end up going all right. And maybe that youthful side of things, they'll play with a bit less fear. Now, currently the Harlequins inside of their own 22 will once again be the number 15, Nick David. Good work from the Quins to protect that ball. And now, mate, we just haven't been up to the task, says Sebastian there. They just haven't quite looked that same side that we see in the Premiership. Yes, they've made a little bit of a comeback. Still 12 minutes left, though. Anything can happen, of course. Looks like it is the replacement now, number 21. Will be putting this ball high around the short side. Little bit of a trick there from the Harlequins. And now it's going to be a great run. Josh Bassett pinning the ears back. Wide cutout pass. Doesn't find the hands. It sure does. Murley breaking the line. Another pass. Andre Esterhazen scores the try. Now that is a try and a half. They want to check this one, though. Their Quinn supporter almost in tears after Andre Esterhazen picks up his second. Like I said, the Quins, this is what you expect every time they play a game of rugby. For some reason, they don't try till the last 20. You know, it's a good thing. I don't like the Blue Bulls who wink, wink, go the Sharks. Says Vieto there. And Leinster 35-3 up. There's Richard. Great work from the Harlequins. So that wide cutout pass went to Murley, who then found the pass to Andre Esterhazen, who's having an absolute field day here up against the Sharks. They're within 7. This game's going to be a tough finish for the Sharks as they are one man less. Right, I'm looking at the odds again. They're suspended. That is expected, to be fair. Leon Benambi, he'll be regretting that yellow card. Oxness share. Got to feel bad for him. That guy looks very similar to Damien Dialende. I hate them. They always make me lose hope, says Sebastian. That's why I said that anyone who bets on them when they're massive underdogs love when they, wow, that's a shocking kick. Unfortunately, didn't quite get that one right. Lipstick. And he dropped his lipstick. There's Bieto. And can't fault a team called Quins. There's Flesh in there. So the Sharks making a couple more changes. Hiron Andrews out there now. Also Machunu on the field. Notche, another player that they have decided to use here for the Sharks. But getting close to the end of this game, the Sharks, they're having another drinks break, and it's probably come at the perfect time because the momentum's all in the favour of the Quins currently. Right, drinks break. The odds, Harlequins to win by 1-12, or even just to win this game, sitting $3.20 at the moment now. You wonder if there's another penalty that goes against them, though. That will put them back outside of the 7-point margin, which I think is why it is still a little bit lower. And also, are my Muppet senses tingling? I don't think so. I think it's all good. for now, Gareth. Hope you're doing well, though, as we have seen some great action from the Quins, great action from the Sharks in the first half. They're showing that rear card of Oxney. I thought it was only going to be a yellow, but it ended up being a red. And my son's team is the Quins. We actually, fun fact, I scored, I believe, my only try of a season up against a side called the Harlequins. Back when I was playing in the schoolboy or younger than schoolboy, actually primary school rugby, I did end up scoring the one try up against the Harlequins. The reason I only scored one try is literally I only got to touch the ball about 3 times throughout the season. I was out on the wing. Surprisingly, didn't play that next season. They had to cheat the Sharks to win, says Yanri now. Although it's one of those situations as well, of course, I always say the same thing, which is if it was the other way around, would it be the same reaction from people? If the Harlequins were down to 14 or 13 men, would the Shark supporters then be saying, or the Harlequin supporters then be saying that they got cheated out of the game? Or would the Shark supporters say, nah, it's fine because it's not my team type thing? It's always going to be on that same scale. Umbanumbi's, it seemed like an interesting one. I hadn't seen the extent of it in the first half. So I don't know how many penalties they gave away for repeated infringements in that breakdown. And get yourself calm and have a strong drink ready, no rants and a cup comp, says Flesh and they intend to go. No chance of a draw. Nervous, says Gareth there. Racing 92 are shocking. They are so bad. It's incredible, says Richard. Thrown in, nicely taken by Hiron Andrews. I'm getting driven backwards just at this very moment in time. There's a penalty advantage. This is why this might be a little bit more tricky. It's kicked in behind Kerwin Bosch. I believe we'll be taking on the 3. And I'll promise I'll behave regardless of the result, says Sebastian now. So Kerwin Bosch, this will make it outside of that 7-point window. Like I mentioned, it's going to be a tough kick. Struck the nice one for the last kick of the game. Although, no, did he miss the last one? They might say just out of his range. They're going to be kicking this one for the touchline. Good kick downfield, Fishing, no worries, says Gareth in there. No angle to work with. He's done pretty well to get it as far down the field as he did. Kerwin Bosch. Anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We've got the South African Sevens matchup taking place in only a short amount of time. That will be the game up against the French. They have already announced their side, I do see, as I have just seen. I just seen twice. Rolling maul defended here by the Harlequins. Last thing they want's an advantage against them. They're being called away. Still trying to march forward a little bit further, and this one is definitely in kicking range for the Sharks if they can get themselves the advantage. It's starting to wheel away. They've been told to use it. Going off to the short side. Well, in fact, the long side, I should say. Joe Marchant, the head-on-head contact there for that man. Going short side now. Hiron Andrews again. The Wickham Warrior Wasps would be either team. Says, was there from Gareth. Good defense from the Quins. 8 minutes left in the contest. Bit of a counter ruck. Going back for the drop kick. Kerwin Bosch has dropped it. And they've butchered that one. They were going to be trying to get the sneaky 3 points. The rain is currently falling in Durban in the scrum feed now for the Harlequins. Little moment. He had it in his hands. He was thinking about the drop kick and just couldn't quite hang on to it. That is a decision from the Sharks that could end up backfiring for them. 35-10, says Richard. And also take it, Kerwin, says Pieto. And also that's Rich from me. Scarlets are tomorrow. I'll be on it, says Fleshin. Tackles made. The Sharks making 79 compared to the Harlequins, who have actually only made 38 throughout this game. Tackles missed, though. 13 missed by the Sharks, 11 missed by the Harlequins. And now all about to be fed in to the Quins side. Not going to push. It's gone down to the front row. Available now for Andre Esterhazen. Little chip in behind. I don't necessarily agree with that decision as now it's been taken away by Jansi van Rensburg. Now, knock on forward pass. In fact, it's going to be another mistake from the Sharks. The Quins looking to close out this game with a possible comeback again. And Gareth, WWWRU and Vamps says it was Fleshin. Right. Getting a bit scrappy for these two sides now out on the field. No one really taking this game with both hands, saying, I want to win it. Neil Powell, he can't quite believe the handling at the moment from the Sharks. Just mistake after mistake coming And also Sharks are not playing with cohesion. And I think that is down to so many Springboks getting injected back into the side at the same time. Scarlets versus Bayonne. Oh, shite. Says Sebastian there. 6 minutes left on the clock. Now it is going to be Harlequins once again feed it in with the old Tema. Big push from the Harlequins, advantage in their favour. Now going off to the left-hand side. Nice run forward. Knocked down. Was it deliberate? No. They're going to go back for the initial penalty. They have not bonded as a team, says 123 MS. And you can say as well that discipline's been costing them a bit. As much as I've heard some people say that the decisions against them shouldn't have been against them the way they were, they're still giving away a lot of penalties. Beware the French lads. Quinn's got Racing 92. The Sharks have Bordeaux. The big game's coming up. And come on, run it, Sharks. And we haven't played with any cohesion for 2 seasons now, says Gareth. Harsh, but kind of true, isn't it? A good kick. 10 metres out from the line now, and the Harlequins will have the line-out opportunity. Now, normally when they have a Marcus Smith near the end of the game, he's one who can help close out a victory in the jaws or in the grasp of defeat. Apparently still 14 minutes till South Africa play France. We will be covering that one on the channel as well, ladies and gentlemen. So if you are new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. It's thrown in. Now the Harlequins go for the rolling ball, well defended by Evan Etzebeth. That's a forward pass to Andre Esterhuizen. They aren't going to check it though. Still going forward, 1 metre short of the line. Might have just been the angle, but it did look like it was slightly forward. Wide cut-out pass. One more. The Quins for the corner. And it's the try. Scored again by Josh Bassett. It's going to be a tough conversion, but they've got themselves back to within a 1-point margin. Lions were disappointing. I thought they're good in the Challenger Cup. There's 1-3 MS, and come on, the Quins, get the win. Says Mikhail. And come on, Quins, get the win, and try. That's the one that I thought was forward. Crowd are booing it. They're going to show 15 replays of this one as well. Was it forward? Could be forward out of their hands. They may go back to check this one. Crowd are all asking for it. That man in the polo shirt is saying, am I the only one who can see? Being given as a try, that'll cause some controversy, won't it? Great try, though, for Bassett. He landed on his face. Just kind of did the, I guess you call him dead weight, the way that he fell over the line. Oh, this is fun, says Flesh, and it certainly is. We saw a 31-31 draw in the Challenger Cup between the Lions and also it was whoever they played, who I've now forgotten, unfortunately. The Dragons it was. And also, what is us? There's Pieto. Missed kick, though. So now it's still 1 point. And no, that is a try, says Mikhail. And now 1 point on the board. Shark supporters cheering big time for F's sake, says Gareth. They're showing it again. I called it right as it happened. I said that I thought it was a forward pass to Andre Esterhuizen. 3 minutes left. Leinster 42-10 game over, says Richard. This game going down to the wire, as all Harlequins games do at this point. No matter the competition, no matter the circumstances, they still seem to have plenty left in the final moments of a game. It's the long kickoff. Nicely taken by Joe Marchant, who will return fire downfield. Hasn't found touch. Now on the halfway line, Mapimpi asking for them to kick it back. Kerwin Bosch does receive those orders and does decide to deliver. It's the mark taken now by the Harlequins. And why are the French still allowed to ref rugby? Every French ref has always been useless, says Daryl. Kick downfield and nothing kick from the Quins again. Hewitt to Chamberlain, puts it high. Going to be chased hard by Grant Williams. Looking for it here. Not able to get it. Instead, it will be Will Edwards who cleans it up. And also we have got there, this will be like the first season in the IRC for the South African teams in this Heineken Cup. Says Mikhail. Now only 2 minutes left in Durban for these two sides, one of which will be walking away with the victory. There's no chance of a draw now, ladies and gentlemen. Someone is getting the win. Both sides have a bonus point, so bare minimum. Both sides might be walking away from this game with 2 points. Nothing kick again from the Harlequins. Now Makazole Mapimpi tries to make his way forward. Doesn't quite get the turnover. Kerwin Bosch passes off to Machunu. Good attack and run. They still need to try and get themselves a turnover at some point, but they can't afford to give away the advantage. That one was also a flat pass. That one was flatter. That one's gone back. Hewitt to Chamberlain for the corner. Poor defense from the Quins there. They might have to have a look at a couple of those passes. see whether or not they were forward, but the Sharks may have just done it and got themselves that final minute try of the game. There are high fives all round at the moment. Bjorta Chamberlain firing up the crowd, his first European Cup try, and it may be his most important he ever scores. See these passes again. That one I thought was flat. That one I thought was even flatter. From that angle, the one that we've got here, they look all right. And please don't convert. Let us have 2 points, says Sebastian. And to be honest, the way that the Harlequins have played, they deserve 2 points in this contest. Both sides, at times throughout this game, have deserved to win it. Okay, the referee having a chat about something. We are blue, I think the referee just said. Oh, that's a shame. Unfortunately, the timer's back on. Because the try was scored in the final minute of the game, it means that they are able to use up the rest of this final minute, and the game will win 39 points to 31 once this conversion of Kerwin Bosch goes over. Feels great. Beat 16 players with only 14, says Daryl. Does it get in the hole? Says Pieto Smith. And even if it was forward, it should use up enough time, says Gareth there. Kicked over, and that will be the end of this matchup. 39 points to 31. The Quins have been defeated by the Sharks in Durban. I also chat about a braai. I would be keen on a braai. I haven't actually been to South Africa yet, but as soon as I do, I think I've got about 15 braai offers to go see which one is best. Maybe that could be a series. That would be kind of a fun series. The channel ever comes into a huge amount of money and I can afford a trip to South Africa, we'll go around, go to backyard braais and see who has the best braai out of everywhere of our South African subscribers. How about that? That would be a fun video series. But the Harlequins, they were almost able to get themselves that bonus point for the losing by 7 or less. But the Sharks extend it 39 points to 31. The Quins, they will still get 1 point on the board, but it will be one less than they would have been after. Nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. We have got 8 minutes now to our next live stream that will be starting. It's going to be the matchup between South Africa and France. But I do thank you all very much for tuning into this live stream. If you did enjoy, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We'll give you updates on Clermont versus Stormers throughout our other live streams that are coming up later on in the night when we do know a bit more about the quarterfinals of the sevens. But thank you all very much for tuning in, and I will see you all in about 8 minutes' time for South Africa versus France. See you all for the next one.